if Shedeur is ready to be your number 2 quarterback for this game?
Yeah, Shedeur will be a backup.
You're thinking
Yeah, like I told you guys on Wednesday, I'm always thinking about our players and what's best for our players, and I want to make sure when it comes to young football players, particularly at the quarterback position, that you are intentional about your decision making.
So now it looks like the Cleveland Browns aren't running a football team anymore. They're starring in a full-blown reality show. Jimmy Haslam's out here pulling the strings like a TV producer, while Kevin Stefanski's stuck playing the lead in a drama he didn't sign up for. Word is, Haslam forced Stefanski to make Shedeur Sanders the official QB2, and now the locker room feels less like a football team and more like a season of Survivor Cleveland edition. But the million-dollar question is, did Haslam just hand Shedeur the keys to the future, or did he just spark the wildest controversy in Browns history? Cleveland, Ohio, the city where football dreams either crash and burn or trend online before the first half even ends. And just when everyone thought the Browns' off-season circus couldn't get any messier, here comes an insider dropping what sounds like a script straight out of a Netflix sports thriller.
Kevin Stefanski, Mr. 9 points and running, Mr. 9 points and counting. You try to make it about a quarterback and what Kevin wants to run. Screw Kevin's playbook. We done talking. He's not good at his job. He's just not. And why would you put your credibility online to take charges for somebody who's not?
Apparently, Jimmy Haslam, the same man who treats the Browns like his own emotional science experiment, demanded Kevin Stefanski to play Shedeur Sanders no matter what. Yeah, you heard that right. This is the same Jimmy Haslam who once thought giving a fully guaranteed deal to a quarterback with more drama than touchdowns was a brilliant move. Now he's suddenly calling plays from the owner's box like he's the creative director of this Cleveland chaos. Somewhere in Berea, Stefanski's probably rewriting his playbook with one hand while frantically Googling how to keep your job when your boss loses his mind with the other. Because let's be real, once the owner starts dictating depth charts, it's no longer football, it's primetime entertainment. And that insider didn't just leak a rumor, they made it sound like Haslam marched into the building with a script, a megaphone, and a dream of directing his very own NFL soap opera masterpiece. Picture this: Stefanski's in his office, sipping his morning coffee, breaking down third down plays, when suddenly the door flies open. In storms, Jimmy Haslam, rocking a backwards Browns cap like he's some college hype man yelling, "Play the kid!" And just like that, chaos got a name: Shedeur Sanders.
Loves Deion Sanders, and I love it that Haslam loves Deion. They did have a big dinner with Shedeur and Deion before the draft, and if Shedeur's ever going to get a shot here, it's only because Jimmy Haslam steps in and puts his foot down, and he's going to probably have to fire Stefanski because Stefanski is now saying, over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot with this year's Cleveland Browns. That's what he's saying to you because he's got no use for him or his father.
The second that story hit the air, the entire football world stopped and went, wait, what? The rumor that a billionaire owner muscled his coach into playing a college star turned Cleveland's training camp into a full-blown soap opera with shoulder pads. And honestly, that fits way too perfectly. This is Cleveland, the team that can turn a boring press conference into national drama. The same squad that can make a harmless quarterback rotation feel like the next episode of Hard Knocks, Disaster Edition. And now, poor Stefanski's just sitting there, trying to keep his cool while the whole world watches his season go up in flames. Insiders are saying Stefanski wasn't exactly thrilled about being bossed around from the top. He had a plan: develop the talent, stay patient, keep things balanced. All that coach speak that sounds nice until your billionaire boss decides he's the new GM, PR manager, and offensive coordinator rolled into one.
Stefanski doesn't mess with Shedeur Sanders the way the outside public believes that he should. When you think about this process, it feels that Kevin Stefanski wasn't ready to draft Shedeur Sanders, and then upon drafting him, he didn't put a plan in place to handle the person. You have to understand with Shedeur Sanders is going to come more media attention, more scrutiny. He's going to be treated unlike anything else in that locker room or anything else we see in the league based on his position. He won't be treated like a backup. He won't be treated like a third stringer. He won't be treated like a practice squad guy. You're going to have to answer questions about him, which is why you need answers.
But Haslam, Oh, patience isn't in his vocabulary. He doesn't do process. He does headlines. And once Shedeur entered the mix, any sense of calm flew out the window faster than a Browns lead in the fourth quarter. Let's be real. Jimmy Haslam lives for the spotlight. The man could turn a preseason walkthrough into a primetime pay-per-view if you gave him a camera crew. And in Shedeur, he sees exactly what every NFL owner dreams of. Young, flashy, confident, and marketable as hell. The kind of quarterback who could finally make the Browns relevant again, something they haven't been since shoulder pads were bigger than the helmets. So of course he's all in. But here's the twist. Kevin Stefanski still thinks this is football, not a marketing campaign. And that's where the fire started, one that's only getting hotter by the day.
Is hella mad. He is furious with Kevin Stefanski for not benching Joe Flacco. Now we know Kevin Stefanski has been saying, we're going to make the time when the time is right to, with the quarterback decision. As of right now, Joe is going to be the guy. Joe is just going to be the guy until we see otherwise. Now, from my understanding and the clip I'm about to show you, Andrew Berry, another one, is not happy with Kevin Stefanski. Now, they ain't coming out right saying that Andrew Berry wants to play Shedeur, but we seen him kind of...
The Browns go through coaches faster than TikTok trends, so you already know Stefanski's out here smiling through gritted teeth, pretending everything's fine while secretly planning his escape route. Because once your billionaire boss starts calling plays like he's in Madden mode, every move becomes a political chess match. Now just picture that locker room. Veterans trying not to burst out laughing, rookies whispering, "Wait, did he just say forced?" And quarterbacks throwing side eyes like contestants waiting to get eliminated on a game show. Meanwhile, Deshaun's probably sitting there thinking, "You paid me how much for this?" Then walks in Shedeur, calm, collected, looking like he already owns the place.
That Shedeur Sanders talent suggests Bailey Zappi should be playing at QB2. So now the question is, Stefanski, you either don't like Shedeur that much, or Shedeur's swag, moxie, culture rubs you so wrong that you won't make him QB2. We're talking about QB2.
Do you think he would ever come out and say, "We just don't think he's ready to be the backup. He hasn't shown us enough in practice"?
No, because I think that would be a lie.
But if he said that, people would say, "Oh, okay, it makes sense." The locker room runs
The man's got that quiet confidence, like he just got handed the keys to destiny itself. He doesn't even need to speak. His whole vibe says main character energy. Cameras start flashing, fans go wild, and social media explodes with every tiny detail, analyzing each throw like it's a national security briefing. And the crazy part? Shedeur might actually deserve the spotlight. He's got the talent, the poise, and that rare swagger Cleveland hasn't seen in decades. But here's the twist. Insiders say Stefanski didn't even want to put him there, which means every single snap, every completed pass, and every touchdown now carries a heavy dose of behind-the-scenes drama. Every success comes with a question mark. Is this football or office politics with helmets on?
But this was hitting bottom yesterday. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shedeur, or at least Cold War on Shedeur, because he won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. It's like Parcells when T.O. was there. He wouldn't even call his name. He just called him the player. Remember that? And this is degenerated into every time he's asked about Shedeur, he just plays dodgeball and with a bunch of
And you can bet the Browns PR team is burning through coffee trying to keep up with the chaos. Every insider leak becomes a headline. Every quote from a source close to the team turns into breaking news. Because at this point, it's not just about football, it's about power, pride, and control. Who's really running this show? The coach, the owner, or the kid who just turned the locker room into a stage? The fans don't even care. Cleveland's been through so much heartbreak, they can smell a good scandal from a mile away, and they're loving every second of it. Now the wild part, the same fans who used to argue about play calls are suddenly turning into political analysts, breaking down front office drama like it's a playoff matchup. People are asking the real questions. Did Haslam text Stefanski during halftime? Who leaked the insider bombshell? And does Shedeur's dad realize this is straight-up entertainment disguised as football?
Press conference after the Cleveland Browns lost to the Steelers today, 23-9. Dylan Gabriel threw 52 pass attempts, 6 sacks, average of 4 yards per pass. Stefanski has zero intention on putting Shedeur Sanders in any game this season. He said he's confident in his guy. He's a tough guy. He's going to be due.
But here's where it gets juicier. Turns out this whole saga had been brewing weeks before it ever leaked. And when it did, Haslam didn't back off. He doubled down, reminding everyone loud and clear, I sign the checks, I make the calls, and I want results. So Stefanski did what any coach backed into a corner would do. He played along, literally, and now Cleveland's living in an alternate universe where the owner's wish has become the team's game plan. The players are adjusting, the reporters are eating it up, and Shedeur, he's no longer just a backup quarterback, he's the storyline. The center of the storm, the spark behind every headline, the guy the cameras can't stop following. But here's the real twist. This insane move might actually work because in the NFL, chaos sells, and sometimes the wildest calls create the biggest breakthroughs. Still,
it should be fired on the same day, which is a Saturday. That's how I feel. There's no good coming from neither one of them. I think if Brett Bertolone were the OC, I think the play calling would be much better, much smoother. Right? It wouldn't look like I'm doing this begrudgingly or trying to take you down.
Don't expect Stefanski to admit that anytime soon. The man's still out here trying to convince himself and the world that he's in control. Every sideline glance, every forced smile, every calm press conference hides one truth. Jimmy Haslam's fingerprints are everywhere. And Shedeur, he's playing it perfectly. Cool as ice, shades on, blocking out the noise, and turning every throw into a reason for Cleveland to believe again. Because no matter how he got the shot, forced, planned, or accidental, the kid's bringing something this city hasn't felt in forever, hope. And that's the beauty of it. Haslam might have accidentally tripped into the right kind of chaos. But let's not sugarcoat it. This wasn't some calm, calculated chess move. Nah, this was classic Browns madness.
That's the type of coach that
Hold on.
you talk about instilling confidence into your players. How you think that makes Shedeur feel? I don't know who the backup is?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. You really gonna bring up Bailey Zappi from the practice squad and make him the backup over me and I've been on the active roster? Either Kevin Stefanski thinks Shedeur Sanders is Magic City parking lot, straight ass, or he just don't like him. This is the perfect example of take all your confidence away from a player. He must got some pictures or some evidence.
The type of decision that leaks before it's even official turns Twitter into a circus and leaves everyone watching just to see how wild it gets next. And just like that, every sports talk show on earth had a theory, and none of them matched. One analyst swore Stefanski was secretly loving this whole situation because Shedeur fits his offense perfectly. Another claimed Stefanski was 2 press conferences away from faking a medical leave. Then you had the Haslam truthers, the ones who talk like he's some kind of football prophet who can see the future while the rest of us are still watching the first quarter. It's chaos with a side of delusion, and Cleveland's eating it up like it's Sunday brunch. Meanwhile, Stefanski's probably pacing in his office like a man whose GPS just started arguing with him. And honestly, you can't even blame him. Imagine spending your entire offseason building a rotation, studying every frame of film, fine-tuning your scheme, only for your billionaire boss to stroll in and go, nah, I've got a better idea. And when Haslam decides something, it's never quiet. This man doesn't send memos, he makes moments. Stefanski's just the poor guy holding the camera steady while the whole studio catches fire behind him. According to insiders, Stefanski even tried to push back at first, politely of course. The man's got manners, but when your boss says, cool story, start the kid, there's not much left to debate. From that point on, the Browns' quarterback depth chart turned into a Rubik's Cube of confusion.
So unless Dylan Gabriel gets injured or something dramatic happens, like he throws 50 more passes for 200 yards again, There's no way, even if that, he's still not going to put Shedeur Sanders in the game. If you look at the press conference that just happened, he's going with his guys, do or die. There's no way in hell that he's going to put Shedeur Sanders.
Reporters started counting practice reps like accountants, analyzing every handshake and breaking down every glance between Stefanski and Shedeur like it was a coded political ritual. Cleveland's preseason coverage stopped feeling like sports. It turned into detective work. Fans were zooming in on sideline shots like they were solving crimes. But hey, that's Cleveland, the most passionate and paranoid fan base in football. They've been burned so many times that every new move looks like it's either the start of a dynasty or the next disaster waiting to drop. When word broke that Haslam forced the move, Cleveland split right down the middle. Half the fan base was popping champagne, and the other half was typing #FireEverybody in the group chats. But even the skeptics had to admit something electric was happening. Shedeur Sanders walking onto that field wasn't just another quarterback story. It was a moment, a full-on cultural event. Every throw he makes now carries the weight of boardroom drama, ego battles, and a city desperate for hope. If Shedeur lights it up, Haslam looks like a genius, and Stefanski looks like the intern taking orders. But if it goes sideways, oh, then it's Stefanski's mess to clean up. That's the deal in Cleveland, baby. Still, one thing about Stefanski, the man knows how to survive chaos. He's danced through every fire this franchise has set and somehow keeps coming back with his head set on straight. So if Haslam's gonna play puppet master, Stefanski's gonna spin it like it was his master plan all along. That's what real coaches do. They turn disasters into strategic innovation. And according to insiders, Stefanski's already tweaking the playbook to fit Shedeur's rhythm. More motion, more quick reads, more flair, because the last thing he wants is for people to think he's sabotaging the owner's golden boy. In this league,
55% completion percentage today. Kevin Stefanski has a 46% winning percentage as a head coach. At this point, I don't even blame the player. It's the coach. Why is he immune from accountability? Why does he still have a job? He's a losing head coach. Why does he still have a job? Everybody wants Shedeur to play.
That's how you end up pursuing other opportunities before the turkey hits the table at Thanksgiving. But no matter how smooth he plays it, everyone in that locker room knows what's going on. The side glances, the whispers, the tension. It's thick enough to cut with a face mask. Shedeur's got that aura, swagger, precision, and that cool "I was built for this" energy that makes stadiums sell out before kickoff. You can almost see Haslam's logic. Why wait to cash in when the hype is this hot? To him, it's not a gamble, it's an investment. To Stefanski, it's a ticking time bomb. To the fans, it's a dream they've been chasing for decades. And to Shedeur Sanders, man, it's just Tuesday. And the craziest part, Shedeur hasn't even blinked. While everyone else in Cleveland is losing their minds, the kid's just standing there calm as ever, locked in, focused, and ice cold. Every throw, every rep, every little nod says the same thing. He knows exactly what's going on, and he's ready to own it. That's what makes him dangerous. He doesn't need politics, PR, or permission, just the ball in his hands, and the rest takes care of itself. And that's exactly what Haslam loves. Because now, thanks to a billionaire's meddling, Shedeur's got the spotlight, and the league's watching closely. Other NFL owners are looking at Haslam like, bro, what are you doing? But that's Cleveland. Perfection isn't the brand here, chaos is. This franchise doesn't just play football. They turn every snap into a storyline, every season into a soap opera. And the wildest part, Haslam knows that. He feeds off it. Maybe that's the point. Maybe Haslam's not trying to fix the Browns. Maybe he's building the most entertaining disaster in the NFL. Because when it comes to power, pride, and pure chaos, nobody does it better than Cleveland. The Browns aren't chasing perfection anymore. They're chasing attention, and somehow it's working. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share if you're loving this madness. And I'll see you on the next one.